everything has a score, no matter what, no matter how ambiguous, no matter how sensitive, no matter how political. Every little thing that's happening around you, there is sentiment attached to that. There is what you think about it, and there's what the world thinks about it. Everything is up for grabs. Everything can be scored and evaluated in some way.
I think you spoke about this earlier. You said it could help consumer decisions. It can help all these different things. Who do you think it's most tailored for? How is it going to help someone like me?
Using it gives you an in-depth, market research in anything you're interested in.
Let's move on to your company, Blunt. I need to ask, first of all, are we going to find out today that Blunt is secretly figuring out what's going to happen in the future?
Like predicting the future? Yeah, I don't think we're going to find that out today. but yeah, I understand the angle. I understand the angle. No, the Blunt is we're trying to capture the global sentiment. And like every day, we're trying to make it as accurate as possible to have this global hub of opinions and ratings. And like you go to IMDb for movies, Google reviews for restaurants, TripAdvisor for hotels. This is just the hub for ratings and reviews from everywhere. That's our goal. That's our main goal. And that's just what we work towards every day. So, yeah. But, people can look at Blunt and have a certain use case for it. Someone can use it because they're walking down the street, they see like a model of a car, they want to just look more into it, maybe they don't even know the name of the car, so they take a picture of it and they see, oh, okay, this is the model, this is a little description about it, this is what people are saying, and then it takes you to external links to go view the car in some dealership. Someone can use it like that, but then another person could just do it for market research. They can look into companies, they can look into regions, they can look into locations. There's just so many ways you can use it. So yeah, it depends, like, if you can try and use it to predict the future, you can try.
Man, that's incredible. So from my research, it uses 4 different AI models from what I've seen, and it gathers information. It gives like a overall overview, a summary, and it gives analysis within that. Could you expand?
Yeah, so like very simply, we take the most recent news on a topic. So if the topic is, Casio, it's everything that's been said about Casio. That's articles, social media comments, social media posts. And we take the text and we analyze the text. Is the text negative? Is it positive? Is someone saying, oh, I love Casio, they're so reliable, reliable and love, that adds a little to the score. But then some other person could be like, oh, it's made cheap, it's whatever. And then these little keywords affect the value. So we are moving kind of beyond numbers, and we're taking the text and then quantifying the sentiment of the text. So it's really anything anyone says, like, that's relevant to the topic and is like within, now, like given that it's real time, can be captured. The AI models, like that's, we use them for their natural language processing. So they can like look at the language and determine, is this positive or negative?
Well, does it have everything on it? Because I think I've seen like it has almost everything, but sometimes I search certain things and it doesn't show up. So how is the process of you adding things? Do you do it manually? Is there like a method that you have?
So everything shows up, and if something like if you tried to search something and it didn't show up, that was probably an issue that like we're working on. This is like this is the biggest thing that Blunt is about. It's that everything has a score, no matter what, no matter how ambiguous, no matter how sensitive, no matter how political, everything, because it does. It's not something we're creating. The score isn't, out of thin air. It's not because we think, Blunt thinks it's what the people are saying. It's what's already out there. And it's what's already in your mind. Because when you're, sitting in a conversation, you're looking at a person, he's talking about some topic, and there's that, cup of tea on the table. Every little thing that's happening around you, there is sentiment attached to that. There is what you think about it, and there's what the world thinks about it. Everything is up for grabs. Everything can be scored and evaluated in some way.
Wow. That is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Man, if I think about every single thing in my life and how it has a score, that gives me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the thing is, it already has a score. That's kind of the thing we're trying to show. It's like, it already has some value to it, but it's in everyone's, minds, and it's kind of in their like subconscious. Like no one consciously thinks about, if if the entire world were to score this thing, what number would we give it? No one thinks that right away. So we're exposing that. Like, it may seem like it's aggressive and it's a little too much, but you already do it every day. And that is what influences your purchasing decisions and where you go out and who you meet and who you talk to and who you don't like. And, so it's something that's already existing. We're just putting it in your face, basically.
Yeah, it's very out there. So like,
Yeah.
given the name, right?
Yeah, blunt. Yeah.
So will it have a proactive component? Like it can predict, okay, maybe this topic is going to go up in value later on. Will it have that type of component with the AI built in, or?
Yeah, that is something that's definitely going to happen down the line, and we kind of already do it. We're just maybe not showing it that well. But if you're able to, map out the sentiment of some topic for the last 5 years, and you're seeing where in time periods that it dips, and then you can cross-reference with what the news is saying at that point, what was happening in the world around the specific region where it's relevant, what are people saying, and then you could just wait until that happens again, and there's some nuance to it, but you can in some way predict how sentiment is going to be. But first, we want to convince people of the idea, Like first, when you look at something and you see a number and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. So that's really our mission for now. But the way we're going to expand with Blunt is like, it's kind of limitless what we can do. But I'll say, right now is our mission is to show everyone and kind of convince everyone that this really is a thing. And everyone kind of is convinced, they just have to see it. And that's what we're doing.
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what you have to have. But would you say it's tailored for, I think you spoke about this earlier, you said it could help consumer decisions, it can help all these different things. Who do you think it's most tailored for? How is it going to help someone like me? You mentioned this a little bit before with like searching things up. But could you expand more upon that? Businesses, creators, like how is that going to help?
Yeah, so, let's say creators, for example. Say a creator wants to look into the industry they're going to create in. So say they're like a food blogger. What we're offering is information from everywhere without the bias of someone that has Yelp will do a review within Yelp to then give you the score. When someone 3 weeks ago just posted an Instagram, post about this specific restaurant and put a caption saying this is the best restaurant I've ever, went to. These other platforms are not going to capture that. That's where Blunt comes in. That's where using it gives you an in-depth, market research in anything you're interested in. So for a creator, it could be something like that. But for someone that's into, like companies, they can look into companies. Someone that's into artworks, they can look at all the artworks and what people have been saying about it over the years and how the sentiment has been changing. And yeah, there's a lot of use cases, and it kind of depends on what you would think it's useful for. Yeah.
Makes sense. So from our research, would you classify it as a social listening tool like Hootsuite and Brandwatch, or is it like a little bit different? Like what's the differentiation that you have from your competitors, and who would you say your competitors are in general?
Yeah, okay, so the first part of it, it can fit in a lot of things. It can also be considered a social network because the people that share your interests on certain things you can connect with. So because it's a relatively new idea, the idea of everything, the scale of everything, that's where it kind of overlaps. Blunt captures some of the market there, but it also does with Amazon reviews and Goodreads and Reddit and even X, these platforms where there is sentiment being pushed to people, and you can measure it by how much engagement there is, but it's not directly showing you what people like and what people don't like. And, bringing on to social media, I would say these social media platforms aren't exact competitors, but they've created a problem that you can say we're trying to undo. Social media is based on echo chambers. And because it's so driven by attention now, you may see a perspective or a point of view about something you really like that someone else just completely doesn't agree with. And you will never see his point of view because you are given what you like. And that's what social media is good for that. It's good for entertainment and it's good for, personalization. But it creates this distortion where you might think the world, thought something of this one micro influencer, when in reality, no one knows them. Or in reality, more people don't like them. You can't find that out on social media. You can find that out on Blunt.